Okay, some people have asked me about my mini binder that I mentioned that I like using. This is it. It is 5.5 by 8.5. So you can see it's only about the size of my hand, just a little bigger, and it's 1 inch thick. This black stripe on here is just a little tape I added because after I dropped it I managed to grab just the edge here and rip the spine a little bit, which happens with just about any binder if you grab it that way. This is an Avery brand binder. There are also Staples brand binders. They run about $6 to $8 depending on the one you want. This one here has an extra pouch on here and has a pouch on the back, and the front and back can be filled with inserts also. I don't normally slide things into the front of mine just because, as you can see, I can't even get my fingernail in there, so I don't want to get things stuck in there. Inside the binder, each of my pages is just a regular standard sheet protector for this size binder. They're specifically designed for this binder, and the holes are in the right places and they're cut to size already. However, they are just a full sheet, and as you can see, I like to put 3 coupons per sheet. So what I did was I took them with a paper cutter and I cut a slit from here to here and here to here. This could also be done with a razor blade, or you could just use a scissor and cut all the way through. I prefer not to cut the edges, but honestly it doesn't really make a difference once you slide the sheet of paper in. It is a little difficult to get the paper in, however, it is worth it because that takes each page from 3 little pockets to 6 pockets. That way you can get even more into your little binder. So what you do after you've gone ahead and cut them and slid the sheet in is you open it up like this and just put a little piece of tape here. I found that a tape that runs most of the way across works just fine. It doesn't need to run from edge to edge in order to work. You do want to make sure the cuts, however, go as far to the edges as possible, or coupons sometimes get stuck in there when you try to pull them out. So now once I've done that and I've taped here and taped here, I now have 3 pockets on this side of the paper. I then flip the page over and do the same thing again, making 3 pockets on the back. On some sheets, I did do 2 pockets for bigger coupons. However, I found that the 3 coupon sheets really do work the best because even bigger coupons just stand up a little bit out of them, and it works just fine. I have my binder organized by the aisles of my grocery store where I do most of my shopping. I keep the front 2 pages here empty for anything that's going to expire before the next time I intend to go food shopping, which is generally on Wednesdays, so I can usually gauge if something's going to expire over the weekend. I put it up front here before I leave to go to my shopping trip. Then I know if I don't use it this week that it's going to go into the pile that I send to a military family overseas. Once I go ahead and use a coupon, I stick it in the front here. These items in the front here are just here for today. These are some receipts I need to hold on to right now because my store is doing a promotion that needs the receipts, and these are some coupons I just printed offline that I need to organize into the binder. The other thing to note is that I do use a thicker paper in here. I use a brochure or presentation paper, which I just cut it in half. Each one sheet makes 2 pages in here. This last page, as you can see, is a lot more flimsy because it was just made with a normal sheet of printer paper. You can obviously use the printer paper. I found that I really do prefer the thicker paper better because it just makes the pages a little stronger and they flip a little easier than trying to flip them when they're just paper. And that is my mini binder.